Welcome to Apartment Syndication Made Easy podcast, where we simplify the world of syndication. Join us as we unravel the complexities and provide you with valuable insights to help you invest smartly. Get ready to take your investments to the next level, one episode at a time. Here's your host, Mr. Vinney Smiles Chopra.
Hi there, guys. This is Vinney Chopra back again with another episode of Apartment Syndication Made Easy. As you know, I wrote that book about 4 years back and got raving reviews, and it was actually $250,000 at that time. Now it's $1 billion. So $7 coming to this country with $7 from India many years ago. Now I'm reaching almost $1 billion in my portfolio and actually ready for my second billion, because we are just raising $100 million for my Victorious Ventures LLC fund, which is a 506c fund. What that means is I can talk about it. I can, give advertisements and things like that, all that. But we got a great friend here. We got Nathan. Nathan, how are you, brother?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. What an honor it is to be here with you. I appreciate it, Vinney.
Oh, it's my pleasure, brother. Nathan Payne is here from Utah. And the one thing which really I want to dig into is, brother, if you're thinking about selling something, any kind of real estate, this brother right here has 2 million buyers, 2 million cash buyers, brother. So that's even much better. And we're going to dig into it. He looks like he's got a great network of wholesaling, and he even teaches it. Why not? If somebody can be so successful, then why not? So we're going to dig into his superpowers, kind of get into, how he got into it and how, where is this with the market falling apart now with some foreclosures and all. We can dig into all those things. Is that okay? Huh?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
So tell us, where did you grow up and all? Utah or somewhere else? Yeah.
I actually grew up I was born in Utah, but when I was around, 5 years old, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. So I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, the suburbs of Atlanta. People are familiar with Roswell or Marietta, Georgia, but that's where I grew up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know exactly, brother. Marietta, Roswell, and Smyrna.
Yep.
And Austell, Georgia, Mableton, Georgia, Union City, brother.
You know all about it.
The reason is I sold books, brother. When I came from India, I tell in my books also, I sold Bibles and encyclopedias, knocking on doors, brother, 13 hours a day. And I did that in Austell, Mableton, Douglasville. That's how I know.
That's amazing. Yeah. So we actually have something in common. I actually got my start in sales through knocking doors as well.
Oh, look at that. Where did you do that? And what did you sell? What did you sell?
I from 2012 to about 2016 for about four years, actually 5 years, 2017, I was selling Dish Network, which was like Dish Direct TV, door to door.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Man, I have a lot of respect. For you. I know a lot of people tell me they have a lot of respect for me who can really knock on doors. I mean, they want those kind of people who take rejection well, and they're working hard and everything. Oh, that's great. Good for you, brother.
Thank you.
So tell me, how did you transition from there to new business in wholesaling? How did it come about?
Yeah. So when I was knocking doors, I eventually got married about 2017. And I thought to myself, I said, the lifestyle of a door-to-door salesman, even though it's lucrative and I was making good money, I didn't want to have that lifestyle where I was moving because what we did is we'd move every summer or every year. We go to a new area. We go to Indiana, we go to Texas. So I didn't want that for my family. So I said, what can I do where I can be my own boss? I can make good money, use the skills that I've learned through knocking doors and live, pick where I want to live. So I decided to get into real estate. That's pretty much how I got into it.
Wow. And how did you end up coming to Utah? Did you move directly from Atlanta to Utah or how?
Yeah, so I grew up in Georgia, and when I got back, I went on a mission for my church for 2 years. So when I got back from my
Wow.
mission when I was 21, my whole family started moving to Utah because my sister had gotten married to a guy in Utah. So, and we had originally lived there when I was born. So everybody was just migrating back. So I
Mhm.
actually picked Utah because the whole family was in Utah at that point. I was going to college in Idaho. My family was in Utah, so it was just natural for me to move to
Closer,
Utah.
yeah.
Yeah, closer.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, why did you choose wholesaling? Were you flipping a little bit before into single family, or
No.
what were you? How did, yeah.
Yeah, zero experience with real estate whatsoever. I had no idea, no knowledge how to comp, how to look at properties. My roommate in college, his dad was wholesaling real estate in Missouri, and he was doing lease options in college, and he would always say, "Nate, come
Mhm.
do lease options with me," and I would say, "Hey, come knock doors with me," and we always try to convince each other. So what happened was after I graduated, I said, "Hey man, what are you doing?" He lived in Utah at the time. His name was Corey. He said, "What are you doing?
Mhm.
I'm thinking about getting into real estate. Have you thought about it?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been wanting to do it." So he left his tech job. He was working at a tech company, and I left my door-to-door job, and we came together and we just went into it. Just went into wholesaling.
I love it. I love it. I love. So that's about 4 years back, or 5 years back, or
Yes,
something,
yeah.
right?
5 years
Right
ago.
about
5
there.
years ago, May
Uh,
May is when I started. May is the day I started 5 years ago. So it's
oh,
almost coming up on
hold
5 years.
on. I know it's April 25th. I think this might be going out in the social media maybe in a month or so. But the thing is, you're right. So, how did you get into wholesaling? Tell, if anybody wants to get into it, what's the secret sauce? What's the superpower of Nathan?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, when the way I got started with me and him is we didn't really know what we were doing. So I just knew that the way I was getting sales before was I was going to talk to people. I just said, I got to go knock on some doors. I got to go talk to some people. So that's what I started doing. I started knocking on doors, asking people if they wanted to sell their house. And we actually got one of our first deals from knocking doors. It was a lady who, wanted to sell. She was getting flyers, she was
Mhm.
getting mailers, but it just took someone coming to her door to
Yeah.
talk to her. So that's how I got
Yep.
started. And the way I learned is just to go out and take action and massive imperfect action. So I was calling people on dialers, knocking. I didn't really know what I was doing or what to say other than I needed to find someone that needed to sell. That's it.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. I love. So you started with single family home, of course, knocking
That's
on
right.
doors. Now, did you also choose the right neighborhood? How did you decide the neighborhood? Did you want to sell low ticket items, or medium, or high?
Mhm.
Give us some idea. Yeah.
Well, I figured that if I was doing wholesaling, I needed to look for distressed properties. So we just looked
Mhm.
for neighborhoods where we live that were a little older homes built in the 60s and
Mhm.
50s. And we figured that they would have issues. So that's how we picked our neighborhoods, just by the way they looked and how old the homes were. We were targeting distressed properties versus, new builds or bigger $1 million homes. We were looking for the older homes.
So true, so true. And I remember reading, and also I looked at also, like, if the grass is kind of high and
Yep.
it's not manicured, something is happening with this,
Mhm.
owner, right?
Exactly.
Or
Broken
if the,
windows, tall grass, you got it
yeah,
right.
for sure. So then, how did you start selling them? Let's say you got two or
Mhm.
three. How did you start, putting it? Where did you put them for sale?
Yeah. So that was kind of a struggle we had is we were good at getting the properties in the beginning, but we weren't good
Mhm.
at knowing how to sell them or who to sell them to. So
Mhm.
our first deal that we did, brand new, we didn't know what we were doing. So we just went on Facebook groups of real estate investors in
Mm.
Utah, and we just would post our deal and say, "Hey, who's interested?" That's actually how we found our
Mhm.
first, we sold our first deal was from Facebook groups. And then we would go to the real
Nice.
estate meetups, real estate investor meetups, the RIAs, and we'd bring a paper
Mhm,
with our
mhm,
deal and explain to
mhm,
people why it was a good deal or why they should buy it. And that's another
mhm,
way we try to sell our deals. So in the beginning, we're just trying anything and everything we could think of to get rid of our deals. And eventually we found a bigger wholesaling company here in Utah,
mm,
and they said, "Hey, we have a giant buyers list. just give us your properties. We'll dispo them. We'll sell them, and we'll give you a 70-30 split. So they would give us 70% and they would take 30%. So we did that for about a year.
I see. Right. They're local in Utah, and they had such a big, list of people and everything. Got it.
That's correct.
But so then, did you have these properties under contract? Because wholesaling many times is, you just do one close, you do second close, right? Is that how you did it, or so that you don't have to finance it? You just sell the contract to the new buyer.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's all we were doing in the beginning, because that's all I really knew how to do. I didn't know how to double close or how to purchase or use hard money. So we were just wholesaling. We would get a house under contract for $80,000 or $180,000, and we would assign it to someone for a fee for $185,000. I mean, we were trying to make any money we could. So we were just assigning everything.
So just 5,000, 10,000.
Sometimes,
something.
5, 10, sometimes we made like 40, sometimes we made like 30. It really just depended on the deal.
For sure. Did you ever think into, because I used to be in single family, but now I'm in multifamily, senior assisted living, hotels, all those stuff. But like multifamily, I wonder it'll be harder to get multifamily because a lot of buyers want them anyway. So, but if you were able to get it in wholesale, your profits could be 4 times more or 5 times, just because it's got,
Of course. Yeah. So I actually had a multifamily deal. I just wholesaled. It was a $30,000 deal, which is good.
Okay.
Considering that the deal was almost, it was retail, right? So someone wanted the property for a 1031 exchange. So they needed to place their money into it. So I was able to sell it traditionally you wouldn't be able to sell that deal very easily, but I was able to find the right person. But yes, I do think getting into multifamily, very lucrative, very, very smart. What I do is I'm staying in this niche, not only because, I know it, but I also teach brand new investors how to get into it. I think it's important for newer investors to start in the single family and then venture up and grow, kind of like how I've grown. And I was doing I just did a multifamily deal. I fix and flip. One day I'll be like you and I'll have own a bunch of hotels.
Sure. Wonderful. No, I see your point, what you're saying. I know we just did a webinar over here. Well, not a webinar, but seminar at the Ritz in San Francisco. I live near San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Because of our $100 million fund. We had ultra rich people flew in.
Yes.
I can't speak, and then we were able to raise, I think, 750. We had commitments for 12,750 in just 2 days, brother.
That's amazing. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you, with the amount of money that you're able to accumulate and find, do you find it hard to find enough sufficient deals to allocate those funds to, or are you able to find deals all day?
I'm so glad what you're saying. Actually, what has happened is with this market turning where it's going, I've been thinking about it since last year that I'm going to do a fund. Right? Then things happen for the right reason. And my other partner, we said, let's go for $100 million. Then we could buy 14 properties, 12 to 14, 15. We went to Scottsdale and we just bought a comfort suite hotel, which I'm going to convert that into senior assisted living. Amazing. Which I've been building now in Florida. I've been building them from ground up, and it just takes so long to build that sucker and get the, permits and financing and all that.
Yeah, I imagine.
So Vinney always likes to find a way to, how to scale up. So my goal now is to get 9 hotels more. So one hotel, we got it. And it's going to be $4 million construction, whatever. We got the attorney involved, everything. And now we got the architect involved last 7 days. So we are really going, like that. So,
amazing.
So you're right. No. You're so right. I think wholesaling is good. But I've been kind of promoting that when you get so many chunks of cash, invest. I always say that.
You have to.
got to invest so that you can invest and have streams of income.
I
Wouldn't that be
agree.
fabulous, right, brother? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think wholesaling is a good stepping stone to start getting cash quickly with little risk. But you got to hustle, you got to
Yes.
work hard. But eventually when that cash is in, well, you got to put it somewhere. You can't just have it sitting there.
Yeah. Exactly. Totally. Like I
Amazing.
think, again, I can talk about it because it's my 506C again. I teach syndication. And
Yeah,
so that, we abide by the SEC laws. And my offering is only for accredited investors only.
for
And,
sure.
we are giving like for 100,000, investor gets X amount, 250, 500, and a million. So we have four categories, in our tier. We call it investing. And then in the fund, we're going to be buying multifamily, we'll be doing conversions, we'll be building some more hotels in there and purchasing, all these things. Yeah. Right.
It's amazing.
So tell
Sounds
me,
like you got
tell me.
a lot going on.
Yeah, it's great. A lot of things. So tell me more, Nathan. So what do you teach in your students? And I know people listening to us, I'm sure, it's a good way to make good, quick money. And I like that. I love that
sure.
aspect of it because a lot of people want to do what I do, which I started with the 14 units and $180,000. Can you believe it? That was my first start, but then you scale up and up and up and up, right there.
Amazing.
So,
yeah, you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere.
Totally. So what do you teach? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, this is exactly what I teach. So when I first started, kind of my story is I was just looking, right? I didn't know what I was looking for. I was just trying to find anyone that would sell at a discount, right? So it was difficult because you would look, but you weren't sure if you had a deal. You would get something under contract, but you didn't know who you'd necessarily sell it to. That's why we had to connect with the JV people because they had the buyers. So what I tell people when they first start, I say, if you're a brand new investor, you need to get connected with someone that is in the market currently buying, like a cash buyer or someone like yourself, and ask them what they're buying and then go help them find it. Because you're going to have way more success working with an investor or investors where they tell you what they're looking for, what they need versus you. Like me, when I first started, I was just like a dog, like that had nowhere to go. Like I didn't know what I was doing. Like it running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I just was trying. And I try to stop new investors, new wholesalers from doing that model because you can waste a lot of time and a lot of money and not feel confident about your business. But if you can go with direction, like let's say, for example, if you could tell me right now on this podcast exactly what you're looking for on your next hotel, you could tell you where you want it. And I could go and start making calls like you look and bring it to you and say, hey, I think I have a potential deal that would benefit you. I'm sure we could work something out where you'd be able to pay me if I brought you a deal. That's all I'm telling people to do versus just trying to figure it out on their own.
I love that. It just totally makes sense. Totally makes sense because you got a buyer with specific need and they have the finances to buy that. And you find that golden nugget or a diamond in the rough or, anything like that. And then you just close it and get that commission, Beautiful.
That's it.
Beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
It. And it makes complete sense. But the way that most investors are taught or new wholesalers is they say, go find the deal and then you'll be able to go find the buyer. When that's not true, because a lot of times they find the wrong deal that nobody wants.
You got it. You got it, brother. Properties are all over the country in different niches, different segments. In the metro, in the tertiary place, all that. So you're so right. So then should somebody who wants to do wholesaling, should they be kind of looking where they live and try to find some buyers there and then find properties because otherwise travels and other stuff. But you could do everything online too nowadays.
That's correct. I'm doing a deal. I live in Utah, but I'm doing a deal this week that's closing in Fort Myers, Florida. So the way that technology works is if you live in a market that has enough investor activity, like Scottsdale, Utah, Salt Lake City, then yes, you can do your own market. But if you happen to live in North Dakota in a small town, you're not going to have a lot of success finding buyers in a small population. So you can go and network with people in Atlanta, and you can be that investor in Atlanta. So you can do this online. Doesn't matter where you live.
So true. So true. You said Fort Myers, brother. Hold on. That's where they had that, trouble, right?
Yeah, they had the hurricane right there.
Yeah, hurricane. So how many, this was single family or multifamily?
It was a single family property that the seller had listed the property on the multi MLS with an agent, was not able to sell it for what she wanted. So I called her and I made her an offer on terms, creative financing. And I said, hey, the offer that you want, the only way we can make you that offer is if we pay you over time. So we were able to give her the price that she wanted, but with terms.
That's so wonderful. Hey, Nathan, I'm going to surprise you right now, brother. Usually I don't do it in the podcast, but you said Fort Myers. It's very near and dear to me because we built assisted senior living in Cape Coral, brother. Cape Coral, right next to Fort Myers. And then we built another one in Punta Gorda. We just opened. So I wanted to show you a movie of Punta Gorda to everybody.
Let's see it.
This is the one.
Oh, man.
You could see volume. I think the volume. Right.
One-story facility.
So that you could hear it.
Yes.
At Hampton Manor of Punta Gorda, our residents get the daily support they need while remaining as independent as possible.
Land. I'm sorry. I think these things sometimes really, really mess me up. These earpods, because when I show this thing, I'm going to just play that.
Extend our highest level of value and quality. Everything you were looking for in an assisted living community.
So we build it from scratch. We get permits, we get everything.
All award-winning meals are created in certain restaurant-style facilities.
Vaulted ceiling, chandeliers.
Looks amazing.
Our stylish have you looking glamorous in no time and in the know.
Salon.
Our luxurious spot allows you a tranquil place to unwind and distress.
So our seniors can really enjoy, and that's their units.
Our beautiful, elegant private dining room. With 3 gorgeous garden courtyards, residents can enjoy a game of putt-putt golf.
So they can come outside their unit, and then sit there, have it.
Residents can also enjoy our beautiful in-ground swimming pool.
So that's Punta Gorda, brother, very close to Fort Myers. Yeah,
that's amazing.
I had 70 seniors who paid us $5,000.
Enjoy time socializing at our coffee bistro.
When I finished.
Wow.
The club room is designed for some hardy pool or card games and more.
So we build a lot of good quality in our product, So that's what I'll be building now in Arizona. I'm going to be building 10, 15.
And right around the corner is our private library. The modern theater invites you to indulge your senses in a delicious in your favorite movie.
It's a good looking theater.
Nice.
The spacious sunroom invites you and your guests to take an afternoon of conversation or perhaps a puzzle or card games.
And we decorated for their liking. These are 8 years,
we offer
9
72
years,
spacious apartments featuring courtyard views, kitchenettes, and equally spacious restrooms. Whether you like a studio apartment or 1-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom apartment, there is a size and design to match your lifestyle.
So I'm just gonna share that. And
there are 22 studio suites and memory care and features a private dining room.
And so forth.
No, I really appreciate you sharing that. That's amazing.
Here to ensure your loved ones receive the very best care.
I know you.
Hampton Manor of Punta Gorda.
Yeah.
Let us be the writers of the next happy chapter of your life. Call us today at 941-201-8053 or visit us online.
All right.
Wow. That is amazing right there. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. That was really cool.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, we are very proud. And, I've been saying that I'll be 71, August 27 this year. So my passion right now from 71 to 81 is to build so many of these senior assisted livings because there is a big shortage of good quality ones. So
That is
that's
awesome.
why I live near San Francisco, right here in California. So Arizona is close by.
Yeah,
Hey,
Arizona's
wrap it
great.
up and how can people reach you? And if you can say anything that I didn't ask you about, you're super, consulting and how people, can come to you. Yeah.
I would say that the best way to reach out to me is on my website on Painless. So Payne, my last name is Payne, Payne. So it's painless wholesaling.com. And I
I
call
love that. Wow. Painless wholesaling. Yeah.
painless wholesale. The reason I call it that is because the traditional way of wholesaling is very painful. You have to go find a deal and you don't know who you're going to sell to. The way I show you is exactly how to find the top buyers in your market, the painless way, and then you can already have a deal sold by the time you find it. Makes it very simple and very easy instead of the other way around. So that painlesswholesaling.com. And I would say my superpower is my desire to network and find win-win situations where everyone can benefit from the relationship. I don't think I'm a selfish person where I'm like only looking at how can I benefit off of working with someone. I want both of us to benefit.
I love that. Love that. Love that. Any special book you're reading now or any special podcast you're following or anything like that?
Well, I just started this book right now, which is actually pretty good so far. It's called Measure What Matters. It's about OKRs, and OKRs are objectives and key results. It's how to structure your business in a way to actually keep track of, scaling and growing. It's very difficult once you get a lot of employees to keep them all engaged in the same direction, in the same vision. So that's the book I'm reading right now.
Oh, that's lovely. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Hey, guys, I hope you got really great nuggets from brother Nathan right there, Nathan Payne. And we showed you also assisted senior livings, which you are very, very excited about. And my new mission is to convert lots of hotels. And anybody's got a good hotel, Suites Hotel, usually around there in Arizona. We are going to be building, of course, Bend, Oregon over there. Then we are also going to go to Las Vegas also and do the same. So please reach out to me. Again, this is Vinney Chopra, your host, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you so much for coming, brother. It was wonderful.